There are certain places where something as small as the hat you're wearing, the song playing behind your Instagram video, or even a number printed on a cap can mean something completely different to the people watching. And in Culiacan, Mexico, that possibility has become part of the mystery surrounding the murder of a young influencer named César Gastélum. Because on August 4th, 2026, César was live streaming outside a KFC. He and his friends were making content, with hundreds of people watching online. Then, a motorcycle appeared, and before César could really react, one man pulled out a gun. The live stream never stopped recording. Tonight, we're looking at what we actually know, what authorities are investigating, and what remains internet speculation. This is the murder of César Gastélum. Welcome to the podcast You Can't Unhear. César Daniel Nolasco Gastélum was born in Culiacan, Sinaloa, in 2001. Sources disagree on whether he was 24 or 25 when he died, although one profile gives his birthday as October 30th, 2001. Long before TikTok, César wanted to make music. He played bass with a regional Mexican group called Dinastía Suprema. He also studied law at the Autonomous University of Sinaloa, although it's unclear whether he completed his degree. Then, in January 2023, César's father died. According to profiles published after his murder, César was the oldest of 3 siblings, and his father's death became an important part of the story he told about himself. Eventually, content creation became his career, and it worked. Online, he became known as Césarín. He also streamed under the name Compa Sexa. His specialty wasn't complicated. Comedy, characters, food, gaming, vlogs, and jokes about everyday life in northern Mexico. One report counted around 577,000 TikTok followers and more than 22 million likes, while other outlets placed his TikTok following above 600,000 or even 700,000 around the time of his death. He was also active on Instagram, YouTube, and Kick. He streamed video games like GTA 5, posted about his life, and increasingly showed the kind of flashy aesthetic associated online with Sinaloa's buchon culture. Luxury, cars, hats, regional music, money, and imagery that, in Culiacan, can sometimes carry meanings far beyond fashion. That's where this story becomes complicated. To understand why people immediately started analysing César's posts, you have to understand what was happening around him. Since 2024, Sinaloa has been consumed by an internal conflict between rival factions of the Sinaloa Cartel. On one side, Los Chapitos, associated with the sons of Joaquín El Chapo Guzmán. On the other, the faction associated with the Zambada family, commonly referred to as La Mayiza. Culiacan has been one of the centers of that violence. And by the time César was killed, influencers had increasingly become part of the conversations surrounding it. Not necessarily because every murdered influencer was a cartel member, but because social media itself had become another battlefield, where music, symbols, friendships, and perceived loyalties could be scrutinized. El País reported that at least 8 content creators had been killed since the factional conflict began, although the circumstances and motives differ from case to case. And César's posts were about to receive that same scrutiny. Some of César's older content reportedly included references that online observers associated with La Chapiza. There were alleged references to figures such as El Nini and other imagery interpreted as sympathetic to Los Chapitos. Then, according to the theory spreading after his death, something changed. César's more recent posts appeared to some viewers to reference La Mayiza instead. One example was something incredibly simple: a hat. In one viral clip, someone asked César what a hat positioned over the letter M meant. He didn't give a clear answer. Another post showed a cap featuring the number 04, with a hat and the letters MZ above it. Online observers interpreted that as a reference to the group known as 4x1 and to the Zambada faction. Other reporting noted that César's social media showed what appeared to be rhetorical or symbolic closeness to the so-called gente del sombrero, another phrase associated with La Mayiza. And that's when the theory began. César switched sides, because there's a very important difference between what people online believe a symbol means and what investigators can prove. There is currently no public evidence establishing that César Gastélum was actually a member of either faction. There is no official finding that he was murdered because he switched allegiance. His mother, Perla, has publicly pushed back against these claims. She asked people not to stain her son's memory by presenting speculation about organized crime connections as fact. And I think that's important, because once someone is murdered in a place associated with cartel violence, it's very easy for the internet to reverse engineer their entire life. Luxury car? Cartel. Expensive watch? Cartel. Certain hat? Cartel. Sometimes those connections may prove significant. Sometimes they're just assumption. But Mexican authorities are reportedly examining César's social media content, meaning investigators themselves haven't dismissed the possibility that his online activity could help explain the motive. So for now, it's a theory. A significant one, but still a theory. Tuesday night. César was in the Tres Rios area of Culiacán, one of the city's busiest commercial districts. He was outside a KFC on Boulevard Enrique Sanchez Alonso, shockingly close to offices belonging to the Sinaloa Attorney General's office. And he wasn't there for dinner. He was making content. César and two other creators were dressed as food delivery riders. Reports say the idea was apparently to create content around working as delivery drivers for the day. One of the people with him was fellow creator Alejandro Fierro. César was live streaming on Kick, and that's why we know so much about his final moments. During the live stream, César and his companions are standing outside, talking, waiting. Then, two men arrive on a motorcycle. They are wearing helmets. Reporting describes them approaching César directly. One of the men produces a firearm. There is almost no time to understand what's happening. César raises his hand almost instinctively, as though trying to protect himself. Then, the gunman fires at close range. César collapses. The attackers immediately flee on the motorcycle. The entire attack unfolds in seconds. His two companions were not physically injured. Emergency services arrived, but César had been fatally wounded. The influencer, whose life had been built around cameras, had just had his death captured by one. He was killed while his audience was watching. This wasn't some isolated road outside the city. It was Tres Rios, a busy commercial district. Around 8 p.m., outside a major fast food restaurant, and only a short distance from government offices where security personnel are regularly present. That suggests something important. Whoever attacked César was apparently willing to do it quickly, publicly, and in front of cameras. They approached him, shot him, and left. Initially, the Sinaloa State Attorney General's office began investigating. No immediate arrests were announced. Then on August 13th, there was a major development. Mexico's Federal Attorney General's office, the FGR, took over the investigation. According to reporting from El País, the attack was captured not only by the live stream, but also by surveillance cameras around the restaurant. Authorities therefore have visual evidence that may help identify the attackers. But as of this episode, there have been no publicly confirmed arrests, and authorities have not officially announced a motive. This is where the internet gets much louder than the official investigation. Several unofficial accounts have claimed that César had become associated with a group known as 4x1, linked in those reports to Manuel de Jesus Noriega Rivas, El Meño, and ultimately to the Zambada faction. One version claims César had recently visited territory associated with that group. Another claims the gunman belonged to a network connected to Jesus Guillermo Flores Bautista, El Caballo, described in those reports as a Los Chapitos operator. Other rumors go further, naming supposed masterminds and shooters. But I couldn't find credible confirmation from Mexican authorities for those names. So I'm deliberately not presenting them as suspects. Because right now, those allegations appear to originate largely from social media accounts and narco-focused websites, not indictments, arrest records, or official investigative findings. And that's an important distinction. Maybe. I don't know. It's entirely possible that investigators eventually established that César's social media imagery represented genuine affiliations, and that those affiliations contributed to his murder. It's also possible that people are assigning literal criminal meaning to content César used because it was culturally relevant, provocative, or simply good for engagement. Remember, César made comedy based around life in Culiacán. Cartel culture is deeply embedded in the imagery, music, and slang surrounding that city. Referencing it doesn't automatically prove membership. And César's family strongly disputes the idea that he belonged to organized crime. So perhaps the better question isn't, which cartel was César Gastélum in? It's, did someone powerful believe his posts represented loyalty? Just before his death, César had also been posting with another creator known as La Beba. His final Instagram post featuring her suddenly became a memorial after news of the shooting spread. She later posted an emotional tribute, saying she struggled to believe he was really gone. According to reports, the two had plans to see each other again. Instead, within hours, people were flooding César's pages not only with condolences, but with theories. People went frame by frame through his content, trying to find the moment when César supposedly crossed an invisible line. And César's murder isn't happening in isolation. In May 2025, Mexican influencer Valeria Marquez was also shot dead during a live stream, this time inside a beauty salon in Jalisco. César's death came just over a year later. But in Sinaloa specifically, the situation is even more complicated. The ongoing conflict between Los Chapitos and La Mayiza has created an environment where public visibility can become dangerous. Influencers occupy a strange position in that ecosystem. They're recognizable. They broadcast their locations. They show who they're with. They display what they're wearing, and sometimes, whether intentionally or not, their content can be interpreted as advertising loyalty to people whose conflicts exist far beyond TikTok. But as of now, no publicly announced arrest has answered the biggest question. Why César? Maybe the answer is hidden somewhere in those posts everyone is dissecting. Maybe it has nothing to do with them. But until investigators establish that connection, the story of the influencer who switched sides remains exactly that, a theory. Thanks for joining me tonight. Don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss any updates about this case. Until next time, stay curious, stay safe, and I'll see you on the next episode of the podcast You Can't Unhear.